Today we're going to start with our foldable on place value. Now this is just an introduction. We're going to go into greater detail over the next few days. So let's get started on stuff that maybe you remember from the fourth grade year or maybe you don't. Now the place is where a number takes place and the value is what a number is worth. So the place is going to describe where in the number it's at or the order of it. The value is going to say, well, how much is it a value? I like to think about this kind of like money. So let's say we had this number. A lot of numbers in there, but what place value is that one in? Well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places away from the decimal, which means it's in the hundred thousands place. And the value is 100,000 because there's a 1 in the hundred thousands place. Now we're going to get into another number. Now you can put those zeros, but think about with money. Those decimal and 2 zeros don't change the value. Now that 4 is 3 places away from the decimal, so that means it's in the hundreds place. And because there's a 4 in the hundreds place, that's worth 400. Once again, those decimals don't really change the value. Now the last one over here we're going to talk about, it is, imagine this is a dollar amount. This 7 is worth like pennies, and that's called the hundreds place. Notice it's going to have the THS, which means it's a decimal. And the reason I say hundredths is because the THS means a decimal, and it's going to be 0.07 because it's going to take 100 pennies to make that a dollar. So that's why it's the hundredths place. So think about that as 7 pennies. Now we're going to go into some greater details. These are ways that we can organize numbers. There are 4 ways that they're going to talk to you about place value. The first way you probably saw all the way back in first grade, this is base 10. This means if they had like a physical like representation, this has 3 hundreds flats, there's 2 tens rods, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 ones cubes, so that's worth 324. Now decimals that we're going to do way later in the year with multiplication and stuff is going to be very similar. The next one we're going to talk about is expanded form. This is with place value. They're going to break it down. So this a 3 in the hundreds place, or 3 times 100. There's a 2 in the tens place, which is 20, or 2 times 10. There's a 4 in the ones place, or 4 times 1. There's a 7 in the tenths place, so that's 7 times 0.1. And there's a 3 in the hundreds place, so that's 0.03, or 3 times 0.0. I meant to say 0.01, my bad. It's not 0.03, it's 0.01. The next one is called standard. Now this is normally how we see numbers. I call this like the jersey numbers because this is what you're going to see on the back of jerseys. They don't break stuff down by place value. They don't, break stuff down by the blocks. It is what it is. It's real world. That's how you see it. Jersey numbers or money outside of a gas station. All of these are numbers the way we normally see it. Now, written form or word form is my least favorite because it takes a while to do. Think about it as if you're like writing a check. This just takes practice. There's 300. You're going to put that 24 together, so it's 324. And if you see that decimal, you're going to say and 73 hundredths because that 3, the last place value it's at, is the hundreds place. So 73 hundredths. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go to page 3, and this is where you're going to practice some in a second. But what will you have to know up to? You're going to have to know up to the 10 billions place as a 5th grader, which is a big number. If I had this in a bank account, I wouldn't have to work anymore. Or you'd have to know down to the thousandths place. That THS means that it is a small number. And what you're going to do is you're going to, based off what you learned today and what you know from 4th grade, you're going to practice some of these and see what you get. So you're going to pause the video, you're going to try it yourself, you're going to come back and see if you got the same thing that I got. Now remember, on number 4, you're going to have to borrow, and that's okay. You just need to take one from the place next to it unless there's nothing there. For this, when you're adding, you will have to regroup some. Number 6 is kind of tricky because you're having to multiply a 2-digit number times a 2-digit. Basically, you're multiplying that 24 by 7 and then multiplying that 24 by 30. That's why there's a 0. You add your numbers together. The last one, you're drawing out 3 5/8. You draw 3 holes. And then, as you're doing pizza, it's cut into 8 sections. And you're going to shade in 5 of them. And if you haven't yet, like I said, make sure to like, follow, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments.